had a dream of Three Eye Atlas. Um, I was downtown Atlanta, me, my sister, and this other guy, and we were in this apartment. And I looked down at my phone, and it said 3 minutes until Three Eye Atlas arrives. And we looked at the TV, and as we looked at the TV, they zoomed in on it, and it was like a diamond shape, more like a arrowhead shape, green, like uh, it was like a amber green color, and it was in front of the moon arriving. And they zoomed in on it, and there was a bunch of chaos around it and stuff. A bunch of these little like little UFOs all around it that were really small, the size of like maybe a basketball. And so my sister was she was yelling like, "Oh my gosh, what is this? It's crazy!" So everybody went outside, and when you go outside, when we went outside, we seen everybody in the streets looking up, and I decided to take my phone out there, and I'm like, I gotta catch this spaceship arriving, and I go outside, and I don't see anything really, not like the television when they zoomed in on this stuff, and I look to the left of me in the sky. Like 'cause I'm downtown, so it's tall buildings everywhere. So I'm trying to see around these tall buildings, and I see a full moon outside. But then I see a circle of UFOs. They were all in a circle. So imagine UFOs flying like at equal distance and moving as a unit, but it's like nine of them, and they all in a circle shape. They were all flying east to west, and I seen them, and I was like, "Whoa!" But so me and my sister started to run, and my sister had to run to this other building. And as we doing it, we talking. There's a lot of chaos and like worry around us, and this is the weird part about it. So every as we arrived in this building, every single person on Earth had a small UFO the size of like. Have you ever seen those little robot vacuum cleaners that roam your house and they can vacuum your house by themselves? It was like the UFO was trying to give everybody one of those to follow them and monitor them. So there was these UFOs that were hovering above. They just flew up to you, and they started to hover above your head. And they had like a camera on the front of them, and they refused to leave. So you could be running, it's gonna be right above your head, hovering at the same speed that you're running. I grabbed one of them and I slammed it on the ground, and I remember it just flew right back above my head and just stayed there. I cracked it, but it just stayed there. And then there was another one that was following my sister. I grabbed both of them and like stacked them on top of each other and tried to throw them against the wall, but they had this buoyancy about them where they could just bounce off objects and get back in place. So we hurry up and close this door because the third guy that was behind us, as we run in the building, trying to avoid these three hovering mini UFOs that's trying to monitor us above our heads. Um, we ran in the room, closed the door, and this dude like punched the top of the door out and poked his head in. And he could allow one of the robots in. I told him, I said, dude, put your head back in the hallway. You're opening the door for us. Like, you're opening the door for those things. And he wouldn't. And I remember I just grabbed his neck and like pulled it down on the wood shards, and it like poked through his neck. And I was thinking like, dang, I just killed him like that. He was alive. He didn't die. Um, he said, I'm trying to get the scissors. And I guess the scene changed. I guess he got the scissors, and he cut the wood shards around his neck to where he didn't pull them out, and he still could move around. And next scene, we were in his car, and we were driving through my old hometown in Illinois, and we passed up all these fruit trees that in a dream I just knew people were eating from these fruit trees, and I was like, dang, Jordan's not going to be picking apples no more. And then the person in front was like, nobody gonna be picking apples anymore. And I was like, yeah. And then as we drove by this apple tree, I pulled a branch off and I put it in the car, and it had some big apples on it. And I was like, oh yeah, we got some good ones right here. I'm glad I did that so we could eat something. And we went up. We drove up to um, this frozen lake, I guess, and we were on the phone with um, two people. Now this is the weird part. The two people that in the dream was my sister and this other guy, but they called me, right, and I could see where they were calling from, like a scene, like a screen, half of a screen showing where they're at and where I'm at, and it was no longer my sister. It was two other people, which is odd, but they were the same characters, and they were in this cave in this desert, and they were sweeping sand with their hands as they were all, on all fours, and the sand was on top of like this giant green diamond, and it was uncovering this diamond, and I guess they wanted to they were trying to see why the 3A Atlas was arriving here on Earth, and there was something under there, and it was like a woman frozen in a diamond, and honestly, I couldn't see what else. But that was a dream I had. Um, Sorry if that sounded muddy. I'm trying to explain it as clear as possible, but yeah, it was pretty unique. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. Load up like double O. It's time to go. Pray to Jesus Christ. He's coming soon.